Hi all, it's Jared from theTouringCamper.com, and as you can tell I got a little bit of a cold going on here. The rest of the family had it, they all gave it to me, so here we go. You're probably wondering why I have food coloring, jugs, and a hose in Tilly. Well, my goal was to get the water tank installed, which, as you may have seen or may have heard, didn't work so well. I'm going to have to order a different water tank. But the reason why I wanted the water tank installed is because I wanted to test the rest of the plumbing. I wanted to test the downspouts, and I wanted to test the holding tanks. That way I knew whether I could move forward with the remodel or whether I needed to start taking out floors or the underbelly to get to those holding tanks. So here's what I'm going to do. Rather than use the holding tank, the freshwater tank, I'm going to just dump jugs of water down. And because I don't know what tanks or what drains go to what tanks, and I don't know whether it leaks or not, and it's raining out, it's supposed to rain out for the next 5 days, I might not see any water come out of the tanks that looks any different than rain, I'm going to add food coloring. And I'm going to go ahead and add yellow here to the sink. I'm going to add blue to the sink in the bathroom in the back, and red to the toilet. It is my suspicion that the yellow and the blue from this sink up here in the kitchen and from the sink in the shower in the bathroom are actually going into one gray tank. So if the water comes out when I open the gray tank, and it's green, I know those two mixed. I also think the black tank of the toilet is by itself, so I anticipate putting red in and only getting red out. But let's say we get a purple out, or let's say we get an orange out, or even worse, some kind of blackish, brownish with all of them. We'll see what happens. So that's what we're going to do. I'll show you a couple hyperlapses as I do this one, and then we'll post some results in a couple days once I get a chance to unload those out and see what they look like. So thanks for watching. Alright, so I put 4 gallons down each of the sinks. This one had yellow down it, the sink in the back had blue down it, and the toilet had red in it. Checking the holding tanks, they're both still saying empty. I don't know whether the gauges work. So my goal now is to actually try to fill the tanks up as much as I can to make sure there's not any cracks or anything toward the top of the tanks as well. So this process may take some time. I'm not going to film it all, but we're going to see how many gallons it takes, and I'll report that out. Thanks for watching. Alright, and we're back, and I've now put 22 gallons down the 2 sinks and the shower back there. I'm fairly confident that those are both going into the gray tank, and here's why I'm fairly confident. For 41 years old, the lights are still lighting up to tell me whether it's empty, half, 3/4 full. The 1/4 full did not light up, so I didn't think it was quite working, but as I was adding 2, I could watch those gauges going up. When I hit about 21, 22 gallons is when it was registering full, so I might be able to get a little bit more water in that gray water tank, but I'm not going to try it. To be honest, the gray water is the one that's most important to us. Because as long as the gray water is not leaking, as long as the gray water is not having any problems, I'm going to go ahead with the remodel. We are still debating, going back and forth, whether we're going to use a conventional toilet or whether we're going to switch over to a composting toilet. So even if down the road I found that the black tank wasn't working properly, that wouldn't be a deal breaker for us. We wouldn't have to do a ton of things, because we would literally just seal it off and put in a composting toilet. That's at least our thinking. So that's where we're at. So I'll come back in probably about 2 days. It's a Wednesday now. I have some time on Friday, I think. Then I'll be able to check underneath the belly of it to make sure I don't see any food coloring coming out, and to go ahead and empty this off. And we'll report back and make sure all 22 gallons that I put in come back out. That's what we're looking for, and if that happens, then I know I'll be good to go ahead with the rest of the remodel. So thanks for watching, and we'll come back in 2 days and show you the results. Alright, we're back, and it's been 2 days since I've offloaded or put some water in the tanks, so we're going to go ahead and offload. I looked up underneath, and I don't see any evidence of any food coloring or anything on the bottom side of the camper, so I'm hoping that means there's no leaks in the tanks. That's why I tried to do that method. So we're going to go ahead and offload slowly. I've just got the small cap undone. I've got a bucket here that I know to the point is 2 gallons. So I'm just going to go ahead and offload those, and we'll come back and we'll check in and see if I actually get 22 gallons out of the gray. And I only put 4 in the black, so we'll go ahead and do that and dispose of that properly. But the gray can just go, out on the ground because it's just gray water. There's nothing in there but water and food coloring. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'll come back and I'll let you know the results. Thanks for watching. Alright, so here's what I figured out. I figured out that my suspicion was correct, and I'll show some pictures of this when we post it on the website. But the kitchen sink and the bathroom, which I put yellow in the kitchen and blue in the bathroom, do in fact go into the gray tank, and that's why it came out green. In the black tank, when I emptied it, I only put red in the black tank and it came out red. So that's a good thing. I know what's going into what tank. A little bit perplexing. I thought I had put 22 gallons into the gray, and it only seemed like I got 20 gallons and a half out, not a full 22 out. So there's a possibility I miscounted when I was putting in. There's a possibility I miscounted when I was taking out. So I may have to do that test again just to make sure there's nothing leaking. I've crawled all up under the camper, and I just don't see anywhere where there's any water oozing out, and there are a couple holes and deformities in the underbelly that you would think it would come out. I even tipped the front of the camper up and back down to try to move it around if there was any water holding in that underbelly, but I'm not finding any, so I'm not exactly sure what would cause that discrepancy. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit more investigation before I can make a final determination. But we've got some ideas in the works. We're thinking about rerouting some lines because 22 gallons of gray and 22 gallons of black just doesn't seem like quite enough for us. We were hoping to have a little bit bigger tank capacity with this next camper. So what we're thinking about doing is rerouting either the bathroom or the kitchen or both sinks to the black tank, and then doing a composting toilet. So we'll keep you updated on what we decide to do there. But for now, this is Jared with the Touring Camper, and you kind of saw the result of how I tested the holding tank systems. So thanks for watching.